Welcome to Wet Picks. My name is Marcus van Leyden, and this is a review of the Tobago Dive Experience dive shop. It's not a review about diving in Tobago, there's a link below for that. This is purely about the dive shop, how you'll find it if you come here, what to expect when you come here from that dive shop. These are non-sponsored and non-affiliated. They're purely in my dive buddy's opinion on how we thought the dive shop performed, how they delivered, whether they're value for money, and whether it is a good dive experience run from that dive shop. Simple as that, really. If you like the video, please subscribe. If you find that we've missed something that you think is really important and should be considered, feel free to put notes in the comment section. If you like it, let us know as well by likes, because that gives us a clue we're somewhere on the right track. These are meant to be honest reviews, how we find, and me and my dive buddy, diving. The Tobago Dive Experience is based in Speyside, on the island of Tobago, which is administered with Tobago and Trinidad. There's direct flights from the UK, takes you out to directly there. It stops one stop, you'd have to get off the plane. The dive centre is about 1 hour from the airport. They do lay on a minibus to bring you down, or taxi to bring you to the dive centre. The dive centre also has accommodation, which was to a really good standard. Really pleased. Includes breakfast, but not any of your other meals. Generally, the whole experience from the Tobago Dive Experience was excellent, superb. Some of the best scores we ever likely to get on these reviews. So, without much ado, let's get into it.
The dive safety. First of all, our record over the 35 years now that we've been established is 100%. We have had no major accidents or injuries with anyone diving with us. To ensure the safety first, from the equipment point of view, which is where it starts, we do a very rigid maintenance schedule on the regulators and all the equipment, the boats, on an ongoing basis. So the diving here is highly supervised. Our ratios, there's no fixed ratios, because we fix the ratios based on the clientele that we are dealing with. So as you may see, some days we have 5 of us, 4 dive masters or instructors in the waters. Some days it might be 4, just 1 of us in the water, because everybody is strong, everybody has equipment, everybody knows what it's doing. So again, and I think that's the key, is supervision, the in-water supervision that we do, and also having highly trained captains that understand the currents and the drifts that we deal with here is very, very, very important. And again, we continuously training and upgrading. Even with our EFR and rescue skills, normally once a year at minimum, I bring in all my dive masters and instructors. We run over all the EFR training. We do in-water practice rescues.
The ratio of dive instructors to students or clients was phenomenal. It never dropped below 3 to 2 while we were there. It's the 3rd time I've dived with Tobago Dive Experience, and I have found them to be super safe. Really careful when they're transporting people by the vehicle, really careful when they're transporting people by the boat to the dive sites. So top marks really for safety on their front. Here we're looking at a general state of the condition of the dive equipment, how it's stored, how the workshops look, the maintenance side of things, and generally we found it was very good, actually, and the dive masters checked it every morning before you went out, and everybody seemed to be competent in handling it and what it should and shouldn't look like. We're looking here to see how knowledgeable the dive masters actually are. I did notice when we were diving this time in particular, they had a new dive master, and he was under constant review by Sean and the other dive masters, making sure he knew the name of fishes, knew the name of the animals and the mammals, the coral, and practiced some of his drills underwater It was actually quite impressive to watch. They place a lot of store by knowing your wildlife and knowing how to give a good dive and how to be a safe diving instructor. I found all their diving instructors to extremely high standard, highly knowledgeable, and highly careful, and kind to the younger people that were there, and to those less experienced. They were excellent teachers for those of us not so great, and they were exceptionally nice to those that were having difficulties and encouraged them rather than do anything silly like belittle them.
And I'll work it down to the little. Right now, as we speak, we are about to implement Speyside as a first phase of a marine park. So literally, I am basically spearheading that whole organization. And by July, we should be rolling out the first phase of that.
So it'll become
A marine park, a nature reserve. The idea of the total park is to have it stretch almost covering 1/3 of Tobago, which will encompass most of the northeastern tip of Tobago. Tobago last year just won the very prestigious Man and the Biosphere Award. The actual dive point of view, and as you would see if you dive with us, one of the main, and it may sound so simple, but one of the main things that we try to do with every diver that comes in here is get their buoyancy sorted out. The biggest killer to a reef, and it's not that people intentionally want to do it, right? Thank you. I don't think the average diver in this world wants to destroy the reef, but inadvertently, because of their dive skills, they trash the reefs.
The dive masters took a lot of effort and care to ensure that the reefs were protected. One of the brain corals down there is over 400 years old. It's spectacular, it's enormous, but they made sure it wasn't damaged. They kill a lot of lionfish, and that is deliberately so. They can overrun and kill an area very quickly. Lionfish are not indigenous, and they're actually turning that into sustainable food on the island. So they take a lot of care, and they believe in what's in the water and under the water is a really important part of our ecological system. And there's a genuine feeling of guardianship from this company. It was quite spectacular. It seems to have been drummed into all the staff, not just Sean and his partners. It was the actual dive masters, the captains, everybody. It was really nice to see.
Main focal points as a dive center is education, and we run a very large student program, and at this present point we have 10 schools that have active scuba programs in Trinidad that we teach on a year-round basis, meaning that we certify probably every year over 250 kids in diving. So education again is one of our main focus of our dive operation. Teaching, then resort diving, but again resort diving with a difference, right? We have very personalized operation. We love to teach you, we love to educate you about the environment. And my final chapter with the operation, which is in design right now, is Tobago Dive Experience. Legacy that is going to leave is going to be the first marine academy in Tobago. We here, through the Association of Dive Operators, we also have a team that is appointed by the Division of Fisheries.
Today, Dive Experience are not only a member of Five Star Paddy, but they're also BSAC, and I know that Sean spends a lot of time with both those governing bodies, helping set the tone for driving generally. but he's very keen to keep raising standards. So the governance is very good on that particular company. They're inspected by the government, they're inspected by PADI, they're inspected by BZAC. They are also, I think it's NARCO, which is the North American Association. So they're well governed, and that's apparent in the way they run their business. I found the diving instructions to be clear. The dive briefings were thorough. It gave you what you might see, what you might not see, what to watch out for, currents wise, marks you'd see when you're diving to help navigate by, how the floor would change into sand, so on and so forth. Really thorough briefings. My one criticism about the briefings, and it may be unique to me, but both myself and my dive buddy agreed, it'd have been nice to have maps of the plan of the dive. The dive school does loads of dive master training, so they will have drawings. It'd be just nice if they could be there. I think that would be an improvement. Some people say not, but I personally think it would be good, because there's many dive sites here, and it's just nice to have a visual of it before you go down. Well, that comes to the end of it. Safety, excellent. Only little niggle, perhaps riding in the back of an open truck, but nothing major. Dive briefings were excellent, but could have done with a map. Their guardianship goes beyond just looking after the reefs. They're actually actively engaged in trying to make it a marine conservation area. Dive masters constantly training, really good. Dive experience was awesome because of the effort that everybody made to make sure you had a good time. Little bit weak on linguistics because partly COVID and partly they don't get many non-English speakers. Outstanding what they were doing with those young people was awesome. Dive equipment was good, a little bit messy in the back of the workshop. Governance was excellent, and the dive site was easy. Most dive sites are within 10 minutes of the starting point. So overall, massive 8 out of 10, superb. All I can say is Tobago's a liveaboard without all the bumping and all the disadvantages. It's absolutely fantastic. Highly recommend Tobago dive experience. If you enjoyed that review, if you think it's been useful to you, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see other reviews of other dive shops we've done. If you don't think it was useful, or we missed something that you think was quite important you would like covered, put it in the comment section, and if you liked it, let us know too. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Thanks for watching Wet Picks. My name is Marcus, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.